dear YouTube Sangha. It's Dharma Peace. And here today, I'm going to share some walking meditation with you. This is my path of choice. I'm in Japan right now, in Kanto area. Hence why it's flat. The flatness is a great advantage for walking meditation. So I'm going to kind of like lead a walking meditation here with instruction. Hopefully you can join me, because there are a lot of videos out about walking meditation. There's even one with like the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. But I find that sometimes it's good to have an example right before you instead of just talking about it, you know? So I actually start everything, we would start with stretches actually. So like, putting your hand on your hip, and it's like both hands on both hips, and you rotate your head, do some body rotations. You can stretch your legs, something like that. I'm not gonna do that too long right now. We're gonna get right into the actual walking meditation. First, let's center ourselves wherever we are. I feel like this could help. So I'm deliberately looking and focusing at the ground, and then allowing my breath to slow to a natural pace. Now, one of the instructions and meditations that we discuss is how in our lives we tend to forget that we're walking upon Mother Earth, and that when we lead a busy life or one that's unmindful, we tend to just take steps of anxiety and hurry. But during walking meditation, there's no need to rush, no need to hurry. And rather than leaving steps of anxiety and hurry and irritation or confusion, we make deliberate steps of kindness, Mettā, loving kindness, Karuṇā, which is compassion, joy, and equanimity. And this is how we express our love and appreciation for Mother Earth. Now, I like this area. I call this the crow's office, because the crows like to meet out here every day, and you can hear them chatting. Same with the other birds, but in particular the crows, they like to come and have their meetings here. But it's okay. Sounds are just sounds. That's another thing about meditation, is that I actually love crows. I don't know about you, but I enjoy their presence. So we're gonna step by step, so I'm gonna hold on to the camera with both hands. What we would usually do is we either put our hands on our hara, on our belly like this, or we have them to the side, or even behind your back. But what we're not going to do is this whole number right here, where we're swaying our arms. Okay? So step by step. And I'm going to pan the camera about my whole solar plexus, so that you can see, just, enjoy the walk with me. But ordinarily what we do is just focus on where we are about to step. We're very deliberate about where we put our foot. Again, focusing our intention with loving kindness, compassion, joy and appreciation, and equanimity. These are the feelings. These are the mind states that we should have during walking meditation. Okay, so I'm going to breathe, focus on our breath. Try to make deliberate steps, one after the other. Okay, what I'm going to do is pause this for a moment because there's a helicopter, and like sounds are sounds, but if you're trying to follow along, I want to give you a nice good first shot at this. Well, this wasn't the objective of the video, but to be perfectly honest with you, the reason I had to pause this is because I could tell it was a military helicopter. I'm a veteran myself, and yeah, it just was usually what I would instruct is, if there's a sound that is taking you out of your focus, simply smile to it. Don't let it affect you. But it just so happens, as a veteran, military helicopters are a trigger for me. But that's the perfect thing for establishing practice, So, again, back to the practice of meditation. Step by step. Each step. And what I like to do is and I can share with you here, because that's the purpose of this, is I can chant the Pali or Sanskrit or whatever of the terms of what I want to cultivate in my mind. So the first term is Karuṇā, which is compassion. Mettā, loving kindness. Muditā, sympathetic joy. And Upekkhā, equanimity. So every step I take, I go Karuṇā, Mettā, Muditā, Upekkhā, Karuṇā, Mettā, Muditā, Upekkhā, Karuṇā, Mettā, Muditā, Upekkhā. And these words that I'm saying, they become a mantra, and one that cultivates the state of mind that I want to cultivate. Those four are called the Brahma Viharas, the abodes of Brahma, meaning basically what they are what the Buddha considered the highest virtues and states of mind in Buddhism. But, I feel like the reason that he said that was because it was also the kind of virtue that was shared in the Upanishadic tradition, in the pre-Buddhist tradition. And basically what he instructed was that it's almost like a universal principle that these four things are what people seek in life. when they have the right intentions. When we are unbothered and when we are trained in our minds to seek the wholesome, we come to realize that compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, meaning mental balance, not being affected by negative things, and not allowing our minds to develop attachments to positive things or things that we find pleasurable. These things are what we should seek and what help us and are conducive to our development. And then when you step on the earth, when we take our steps, we're almost like hugging the earth with our foot, with these divine abodes, these kinds of, just the state of mind that you have, showing the earth, Mother Earth, our gratitude for having a chance to be a part of this world, even if sometimes it's harsh, the Buddha called us walkers of the path, and it's very, or even he even said like practitioners of the path, but let me just say walkers along the path. He's very intentional about this. That's why walking meditation is so important. Well, I think the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh made it a primary practice to cultivate mindfulness in the mindfulness trainings. This is very essential. So I encourage anyone watching now to try this, do so. You can walk with me and do this, and play this video along your walk. But in the future, do so in silence. See that it will have a real impact on how, it'll clear your mind. It will bring natural peace of mind. And that's our goal here. The walk for peace. Those guys, the Buddhist monks who they have like a journey across the United States just to spread the message of peace. And they're not like preaching, they're not giving any sort of sermon. They're just saying the message is peace. And it's up to us whether that message is about us individually or about community. The two, there's no separation of the two, actually. To be perfectly honest with you. Peace of mind and peace within equals peace without. Peace outside can only exist with peace inside. Not the other way around. Now, peaceful environment can be conducive to our personal peace and well-being. But you'll notice that if you're upset and you're troubled, even if it's a peaceful environment, it suddenly is not any longer, right? And I can come up with real points. Like, here's a good example of that. You just faced a loss. Let's say you had a pet that you loved very much, and you shared a room together. You shared, maybe they have a sleeping space like a dog bed or a cat bed, and then that pet dies. Maybe in a sad way, or maybe in a way of like they grew old. But you're experiencing loss. Then suddenly a place that used to bring great peace, an environment that used to bring great peace from outside, has now become a source of suffering, a place you don't want to go, a place that, but you leave it there nevertheless. That's a common practice, an attachment to the past. Well, that's an example of how peace is not found without, even in a peaceful environment. So let's say here, this location, and I have this habit of just like constantly making examples, but you know, that's just how we understand things, with examples, right? But let's say this peaceful environment right here, like let's say that natural burn, or sorry, it's not, it's a controlled burn over there. You see the smoke. Let's say that was not a controlled burn, and all of a sudden the trees started to all catch fire, and it created a brush fire. Now all of a sudden this place of peace, you know, suddenly it becomes a precarious location. But that's why walking meditation is so important. Why cultivating equanimity, gratitude, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity again. Equanimity, so important. Almost like being unfazed. Me and Dharma Sky basically belabored the point to where we can't stress enough that having equanimity and not being shaken by external conditions is so important to our practice. It's important for the world, actually. It's important for not just our practice, not just your practice, for civilization itself, we believe. That's what peace of mind is all about. Equanimity is a huge, it's like we talk about all the trials and tribulations that are facing us as human beings, as a species on this earth, but we can't do anything about it. And all the crises, as Dharma Sense likes to remind me, that we're facing polycrises all the time. But we agree that the only real way for meaningful change to occur is for us to understand individually how to put one foot in front of the other, and how to address with wisdom our challenges in our day-to-day lives. Not just on the big, there's a lot of big picture talk, but the picture isn't just big. It's you zoom it in, you zoom it out. You have to engage reality from all depths and all walks of life. And this right here, I love this. This is right behind my apartment, by the way. All of this is behind my home. And here there's a solar farm right here. And I'm hoping that Dharma Sense, when you see this, it's a really cool little contribution to our neighborhood. This beautiful solar farm. Well, alright guys, we're getting on to almost 20 minutes. Man, okay, so this video was supposed to just be a walking meditation guide turned into a walk and talk, but that's okay. I encourage everyone here, if there's anything you can take away from this video, it's that walking meditation is a huge boon to our practice. Okay? And that we are those who walk the path. That's who we are as engaged Buddhists, or as just people engaged in the world. You don't have to be a Buddhist to heed the teachings of the Buddha. You don't have to take the precepts. You don't have to have a Dharma name or none of that. But at the same time, the world changes, and there are many, many things that affect us as a species that I know in my heart and in all my experience that the Buddha and his wisdom and people who followed after, who heeded his teachings, and I would even include Christ in that category, they basically have the right prescription to what ails us. They have like the vaccine for it. What ails us is ignorance, and the vaccine is wisdom, but also wisdom and compassion. Panya. All right, so okay, guys, I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to continue in walking meditation in silence now. And I encourage you to try the same in the future. But until next time, and if you made it this far, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to you. If you have any requests, or if you like this meditation video, and you know, Dharma Sky is also going to contribute his meditation tips, leave some comments. If you like this, leave a like, and if you want more of this content, subscribe. I've been Dharma Peace, and have a good one. Until next time.